Hi there, here's a quick tutorial for my students on how to make this really simple foot base. Here's the drawing for that foot base. Okay, we're in millimeters. This is the front view, this is the top view, this is the right view, as explained in my other videos, and you can see descriptions. You can see those links in the description. Okay, this is a level 2 part, and the mass is 325 grams, and it's made out of aluminum 1060 with a density of 2700. All of that is important, otherwise you won't know how to get the mass. So let me show you how I think the best way to do this is. Might not be the best way, but it's maybe the fastest way for me. I'm going to show you two different ways to drawing this, my way, and then probably the way that beginners would model this model. So a beginner might do something a little different, but I am going to start here. This is going to be my origin. This is where my origin is going to be. And I see that I have center line symmetry here, okay, and also through the middle, same thing here. And I'm going to just use this corner. It looks like this corner is being used for a lot of dimension measurements. So I'm going to come and I'm going to draw an L. I'm going to come out 80, and I'm going to go up 20, and then I'm going to come over here, some unknown distance. Now I can do the math, 80 minus 25, but I'm going to show you that you don't have to do the math. Onshape will do it for you. I'm going to come up here, some unknown distance. We're going to come over 25, and then we're going to go down 80. Okay, and that's going to give us an L. The L is going to look like this. We're going to come over 80. We're going to go up 20. We're going to go back some unknown distance, up some unknown distance, over 25, and down 80. Now this is going to give us an L that's a sharp angle. It's not going to have this curved face. Once we have that L done, we're going to extrude it. We're going to push it out by, sorry about that, by 40 millimeters, and again by 40 millimeters if you want to look at it from the right side. When that happens, this guy here is going to come out like so. Now these lines really should be tangent. They should be tangent to that bottom curve there. And what's going to give me is it's going to give me this sharp L as a three-dimensional object. Okay, it's going to look kind of like this. We're going to use the center line symmetry to extrude it symmetrically so that it cuts this front plane right in half. Once we're done with that, making the solid L, we're going to come in with the fillet command and cut out this edge. All right, so that's how I would do it, and I'll show you how my beginning students would do it in just a second. Okay, so I come over here for the new Part Studio window, and I'm going to be on the front plane. I should mention that this drawing here, I have moved this drawing over to my second screen so I can see it while I'm drawing. You can use your phone, you can take a screenshot, you can sketch it out on paper to do the same if you don't have a second screen. All right, so we're going to use the front plane, so I'm going to click on front plane, click on sketch. I should, before we begin anything, let's make sure we're in the right units. I'm going to click on the hamburger workspace units, make sure we're in millimeters and grams. If not, go ahead and change those now. All right, so I'm going to click on the front plane, choose the sketch, or just simply press Shift S. That's the fast way. I'm going to press N, the N key, to get normal to, which means it's going to be like a piece of paper on my desk, just flat down. And then I'm going to press P to hide the planes. P toggles those planes. I'm going to press L to grab a line, and I'm going to click on the origin. Remember, the origin is where I'm going to start. I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to make sure that I am horizontal. See that little horizontal constraint icon pops up? There it is. I'm horizontal. I press the button, and I type 80, hit enter, and now I'm good to go to draw my next line. The next line automatically goes. I'm going to click up here. That's only 20. 20, hit enter. I'm going to come back here, make sure I'm horizontal. Some arbitrary distance. I'm not even going to enter that. I'm going to come up here, some arbitrary distance. I'm going to come over here, and you see how it kind of wakes up that origin. If you don't see that yellow dotted line, come down here, just kind of hover over the origin and say, hey, I need you. You click there. We know that's 25, so click 25, hit enter, and now the line finishes down here at the origin. Boom. We know that that is an 80, 80, hit enter, we're done. This is fully constrained. In my world, I'm going to press escape so I don't accidentally draw more lines. In my world, my fully constrained model has white lines, no blue lines. In your model, it's probably black, and you can see that if you go to the view dark mode. I like dark mode, but here I'll turn off dark mode. Your fully constrained model is black. If I delete this, for example, delete that dimension there, then this dimension, this blue dimension, can be dragged around. I can re-add that dimension by clicking D or pressing the dimension tool, come up here, click on that line, type 25, and I'm back to fully defined. I can press the check box, the check mark to get rid of the sketch, or I could simply go straight into extrude and press that button. But because we want to do speed modeling, I'm going to do Shift E, and that is going to extrude that 25 millimeters. You can see that you can't see that depth because we're looking front on. We're looking straight on. If I move a little bit, rotate a little bit, there it is. Okay. And we know, looking at our model, that the depth needs to be 40, like so. Okay. I'm going to put the planes back on again, toggle the planes. Oops, I'm sorry. I press P over there. So if I click over here and toggle the planes on and off, you can see that this model starts on the front plane and is extruding towards, well, extruding out towards the screen, out towards me. If I press symmetric, look what happens. It moves so that it is symmetrical with the front plane, and that's really what we want. We want that centerline symmetry is what we're looking for. So I'm going to press okie dokie, hide the planes again, and now all we have to do is we have to just round off those edges. We're going to do so with the fillet command. So we can choose the fillet command. It's going to ask us for the radius. The radius, remember this depth here is 40, so a radius of 20 will give it to us. Boom, boom, click on those two edges we want to fillet, and there it is. Boom. Okay. Now, what if you realized, oh no, it shouldn't be extruded 40, it should be extruded 60. Okay, look what happens. We're going back up in the tree, so we're not going to see the fillet while we're editing the extrude, but once we click OK, now we run through all of the tree, and there's the fillet, but notice it's not fully rounded, it's got this flat edge. If you want this to be fully rounded no matter what, let's go back into the fillet command. We're not going to do the edge fillet, we're going to do a full round fillet. It's going to ask us, it's asking us in this blue box to select the first side face there. It jumps down to the second side face there, and then the face to round is this one. Boom, there. Now it's fully rounded no matter what the extrusion depth is. So I'm going to press the checkbox. I like that better. Let me just show you why. Let's go back to extrude. Let's take it back to the actual depth of 40. Hit enter, and now notice it's fully filleted with a full round. If you click on this, you can see the radius is 20 as shown here in the drawing. Radius of 20. How cool is that? Okay. Next, we want to find the mass. To do that, we have to select the density. So we right-click on the part over here in the tree. We're going to assign material. I want my students to choose, instead of material library or Onshape library, I want to choose the custom materials library from PCR. Down here, we're going to scroll down to aluminum 1060, make sure it's got the right density, 2700, as indicated in the drawing. It is. We check the box. We click anywhere on the mass, anywhere on our part. Choose the little scale down here to display the mass. We see it's 525.5, 292, 525.5. Remember that number. Come over here to the drawing. Zoom in a little bit. Where's that mass? There it is. 325.5. 325.5. Let's make sure that that is in fact the thing. Yeah, 325.5. Sorry about that. Okay. Boom. And then let's make it let's make it be pretty yellow. Let's right click on the part again, edit appearance. I know it's bright yellow, my favorite color, 255, 255.0. That is the RGB code for bright yellow. And if you don't know that, no big deal. We come over here to the base drawing and we see here that the drawing tells us what the RGB codes are. So we know that this color here is bright yellow. Okay. All right. So that's how I would do it. Let me show you how beginning students might go about solving this problem. Okay, so here's how a beginner might do it. They would start here perhaps, and they would see they're going to draw this as a line, okay, which is cool. Then they're going to come back and touch, and that's going to give them a curve, an arc tool. They're going to come back and touch again and come here and come here. Now, we know that this line here is 40. We know that this line, we don't really know how big this line is, but we do know from this line here to the edge is 55. So we're going to need to now draw another edge here. So that's how my students might start with that, with this little curve feature here. We can put the curve all the way in. No need to fill it. We're going to do it with our pencil. And then what they may do is they may come here for the little foot part, and they might extrude that 20. And then they may come in here with this guy and extrude this guy 80. Okay, so let me show you how to do it that way, which is not the way I would do it, but it's a perfectly fine way of doing it. Okay, for this I'm going to create a new Part Studio so I can show you what that might look like. Part Studio number 2. Here we're going to draw from the top. So click on the top, Shift S to make the sketch, N to get normal to, P to hide the plane, L to make a line. So I'm going to do a line, come out here some arbitrary distance, click, and now if I move my mouse, you can see it tries to draw another line. If I come back to that endpoint, all I'm doing is hovering over the endpoint. Now I have a curve feature. Line, arc, line is what this is called. There's that little dot is the center of my circle, and when we come here, it kind of snaps, and we have a semicircle. Okay, little hemisphere. So we're going to click there, come back all the way to here. So that line there is telling me that I'm directly over the origin. If you don't see that line, come down here, just kind of hover over the origin, wake it up, and say, hey, I need you. Click there, and come down here and click. Now we know this depth is 40. Okay, and we know that this, let's see here, I'm going to press escape, move this out of the way. I need to now draw another line, press the L key to draw a line, and I'm just going to come straight down, make sure it's vertically straight down, and connects that to that perpendicular. This line here, I'm going to press escape now. This line here, I can move it anywhere, so we need to set the dimension of that. You can come up here to the dimension tool, or you can simply press D for dimension. I'm going to click on this line here, click here. That's going to give me, make sure that I type in 25 there. I do know that the dimension between this line and this point right here is 55. So click there, type 55, hit enter, boom, done. Okay. Just to make sure, I'm going to press escape. Actually, we're good there. Okay. I'm going to press the OK, the checkbox. I'm going to click on the foot. I'm going to extrude that, Shift E, and that's up 20. If I hit enter, now this second little part here for the tall base, that has disappeared. I can show that again by toggling on the sketch 1. It thinks you're done once you've extruded it once. I'm going to click on that, extrude. This time I want to go up 80. Hit enter, done there. I can now hide that sketch if I want to. We're almost done. I can click on the part, right click on the part, go to assign material, choose the PCR custom, come down here to aluminum 1060, boom, check the part mass, and we are done. 325.5, just like the drawing. And of course, we can also make it be beautiful yellow as well. All right, those are a couple of ways you can model this simple level 2 model. Good luck with the rest of your models, and thank you for watching.